The day 50 Cent was shot, I was walking through, and BMF was there too. Meechnam was there too.
Who has more cred than you, living after being shot 9 fucking times?
I don't know what the criteria is off of street credibility. Or
That's
if there's something that creates more merit for you. I looked at that experience as something that was unfortunate that I had to experience.
I forget, why the guy shot you 9 times? Was it drugs or something?
It was paid to do it.
He was paid to do it.
Welcome back to Fame Flux, where the truth behind fame gets exposed. In a shocking new revelation, 50 Cent shared how former Bad Boy security officer Gene Deal may have saved his life during one of the most dangerous periods of his career. During a recent interview, 50 opened up about a behind-the-scenes encounter that took place in the early 2000s, right before his massive breakthrough, and credited Deal with tipping him off about a potential setup that could have turned deadly. According to 50, Gene Deal pulled him aside at a private industry event and warned him about certain individuals in the room. Figures tied to street politics.
Karma. Explain to me again why this guy was hired to shoot you 9 times.
Well, you was paid because someone, felt like that I would potentially do something to them if they kept going in the direction that they were going.
Man, you are tough.
And rumored to have connections with powerful enemies from 50's past. At the time, 50 was still fresh off surviving his infamous shooting and navigating a cutthroat music industry full of silent threats and hidden agendas. Deal, who had witnessed similar setups in the Bad Boy era, allegedly recognized the signs and made sure 50 didn't walk into a situation blind. Gene didn't owe me anything, 50 said, but he saw what was going on and stepped in like a real one. This revelation has fans rethinking the role Gene Deal played during a time when tensions between camps like Murder Inc., G-Unit, and Bad Boy ran high.
Because 50 just got shot, and he in ICU. I say, 50 what?
Known for speaking out about industry secrets and the truth behind Biggie's murder, Gene's credibility is hard to dismiss. 50's story highlights the hidden alliances and quiet decisions that shaped hip-hop's most volatile era. If Gene hadn't spoken up that night, 50 Cent's story could have ended before it truly began. Now, with both men reflecting on that moment, one thing is clear. In a game full of betrayal, real loyalty comes from the unlikeliest places. And this time, Gene Deal may have been the guardian who kept 50 Cent alive long enough to build his empire.
I know that Irv Gotti and them had put it out there like they was a part of it and they was gonna do it that night, the day at the meeting.
Everyone knows 50 Cent survived being shot 9 times back in the early 2000s. What many don't realize is that Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, was reportedly one of the first people to check on 50 after the ambush. But this story goes deeper than concern or coincidence. At the time, Gene Deal was moving with the Murder Inc. camp, which had notorious tension with 50. That connection alone raised questions, since it meant Gene may have had inside knowledge of the environment surrounding 50's attempted hit. What's more, this was years before 50 would go on to publicly battle with Irv Gotti and Ja Rule.
50 Cent needs therapy. I don't care if you agree with the rationale. And 50's 50, he gonna stand in it. He gonna stand strong in it.
He is. I look at it from both sides of
The web was already being spun. Now, new statements from Gene suggest he wasn't just a concerned caller. He may have played a bigger role in 50's survival. He's now hinting at inside information, suggesting that someone in power made a phone call to spare 50's life or tip him off. That type of intervention implies that bigger players were behind the scenes. The deeper this gets, the more calculated it feels. Gene's recollection is bringing new attention to old questions. Who really ordered the hit? Who pulled strings to save 50? And could it be true that people inside the industry were playing both sides?
It seems like you've always been attracted to the guys that are still in the streets to a certain degree. Do you think that's a fair statement?
You're not attracted to them?
Well, not attracted to them, but I mean, you like having them around. You're friends with them and you maintain
I like having them around?
50's a nice guy, but he acts like he's the murderous.
Yeah, he's really, real nice guy.
Yeah, I know, that's why he hides his heart and tries to be, motherfucker, I'll kill you. But
as dots begin connecting, from Murder Inc.'s street ties to 50's rising threat level, this narrative takes on new weight. Gene's version, might just change everything the public thought it knew. At the time of 50 Cent's infamous shooting, Gene Deal was reportedly in Mexico, surrounded by figures from the BMF organization. That's when he got the call. 50 had just been shot 9 times.
And they are now where?
Oh, the guy who actually shot me is dead. And the guy who paid him and got life in jail.
Got life in jail.
Yeah.
What followed next only deepened the mystery. According to Gene, not long after the shooting, he was contacted by someone from 50's own circle, his former manager. But this wasn't just a courtesy call. The manager wanted Gene's help to get in touch with none other than Supreme McGriff. That's significant, because Supreme was widely rumored to be connected to the shooting. So why would 50's own people be trying to reach out to someone allegedly tied to the hit? That move sent a shockwave through those watching closely. It suggested that insiders already suspected who was behind the attack. And it wasn't random street violence, it was targeted, coordinated, possibly even signed off on by someone high up. Gene also claimed that while all this was happening, he was hearing Murder Inc.'s name being whispered in the background. The label, already beefing with 50, seemed unshaken by the news. According to him, people around the label were moving like they'd been warned. They weren't shocked. If anything, they seemed prepared. Given the long-standing tension between Murder Inc. and 50 Cent, Gene's statements only intensified public suspicion. Now fans were revisiting old rumors about Irv Gotti and Ja Rule potentially having prior knowledge or involvement. This wasn't just tabloid drama, it was unfolding during one of the most pivotal moments in hip-hop. 50 was on the rise, Murder Inc. was at its peak. And behind the scenes, it appeared that forces were maneuvering. Either to protect their position or eliminate a threat. To understand the depth of this saga, you have to examine Murder Inc.'s long-rumored connection to Supreme McGriff. Back in the early 2000s, it wasn't just rap beef on the surface. There were heavy street ties bubbling underneath. Irv Gotti's label was on fire commercially, but behind the scenes, federal authorities believed there was something more sinister going on. By 2003, the feds made their move. They raided Murder Inc.'s offices in a high-profile bust. The suspicion? Money laundering, with ties directly connecting the label to Supreme's drug enterprise. It wasn't just about rap records. It was about using the music business as a front for funneling illegal cash.
Hey, yo, Wack, the call I got about Monster Wack, nigga, like, this
Monster called me 18 months ago, ready to do.
The raid shook the industry and confirmed what many in the streets had whispered for years, that the lines between music and crime were dangerously blurred. Though Irv Gotti and his brother ultimately beat those charges in court, the damage had already been done. The raid didn't just expose potential crimes. It placed Murder Inc. at the heart of a national conversation about hip-hop's underworld connections. And with Supreme's name deeply linked to 50 Cent's shooting, fans couldn't help but wonder, was Murder Inc. truly just a bystander, or were they more involved than they let on? Now fast forward to today. Decades have passed, but the beef still simmers. When Irv Gotti recently passed away, some might have expected 50 Cent to take the high road or offer condolences. Instead, he took to Instagram and posted jokes. No pause, no peace offering. The message was loud and clear. This beef isn't just rap, it's personal and it's permanent. What's even more revealing is that 50 didn't just sit back when Gene Deal dropped those bombshell claims. He amplified them. He reposted the interview on his Instagram, essentially endorsing Gene's version of the story. And for anyone who follows 50, he doesn't co-sign just anything. If he reposted it, he believes it.
We got up there, we came in and shit. You had Navy SEALs with it, 2 in all directions. Probably about 6 of them.
When you get hurt that bad, either your fear consumes you or you become a bit insensitive. So just after...
Which one was it for you?
There was a point that I was afraid.
Afraid?
Yeah, following that.
50 Cent has never been one to co-sign street gossip. He separates speculation from solid street intel. So when he endorsed Gene Deal's explosive interview, it wasn't just to stir drama. It suggested that what Gene said held weight, possibly even confirming long-rumored details that only insiders ever talked about. But the twist in this tale doesn't stop with Gene or even Murder, Inc. It leads straight to one name that's often whispered but rarely scrutinized: Daryl Baum. Baum wasn't just another name in the streets. He was a longtime associate and personal bodyguard of heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. The two were reportedly close from their early days in Brooklyn, and that bond only strengthened as Tyson rose to fame. With Baum's reputation and Tyson's need for protection, their connection made sense in every way, on paper at least. But this is where it all starts to blur. People have long speculated whether Tyson knew more about the 2000 shooting of 50 Cent than he ever let on. There's no direct evidence tying Tyson to any of it, and no official accusations have ever come forward. Still, those in the know have always pointed to Baum's close ties with the boxing legend and what that might mean behind closed doors. 50 himself never explicitly said Tyson was involved, but he did reference Baum in his music. If you listen closely to the lyrics of Many Men, a haunting anthem reflecting on 50's near-death experience, Baum's fate is hidden in plain sight. The line, "Got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing," was widely interpreted as a subtle nod to Baum's downfall. 3 weeks after 50 was shot 9 times in Queens, Daryl Baum was fatally gunned down in Brooklyn during what was described as a drug-related dispute. But those close to the streets saw it as more than coincidence. With Baum's alleged connections and the tension surrounding 50's rise, his death sparked theories that it was retaliation, an eye for an eye in the unforgiving world of street politics. So now, with 50 aligning himself with Gene Deal's narrative, it brings new attention back to those who were circling the edges of his attempted hit. Tyson may not have pulled any strings, but his bond with Baum and the timing of everything still raises questions. And in this world, where silence is strategic and loyalty is everything, what's left unsaid often speaks the loudest. Even now, with platinum plaques, hit shows, and business success, 50 Cent remains a marked figure. Surviving 9 shots didn't end the danger, it only changed the level. And not long after his 2003 breakthrough with Get Rich or Die Tryin', a second attempt on his life confirmed it. Just 8 months after the album dropped, while leaving a hotel in Jersey City, 50 and his entourage were targeted again. Shots rang out. No one was hit, but the message was clear. Someone still wanted him gone. It wasn't a robbery or mistaken identity. According to several insiders and investigators, this was a setup. A calculated hit. And after surviving a second brush with death, 50 Cent stopped moving like a rapper. He started moving like a target. From that point forward, his lifestyle changed. Public appearances became rare, his security detail intensified, and everything he did was measured and protected. The street beefs were no longer about music. They were survival tactics wrapped in business decisions. Back then, names like Frank Alexander, also known as Big Frank, began popping up. Big Frank, known for his work with other high-profile artists, had joined 50's protective detail. He was respected, trained, and sharp. But even that wasn't enough. Over time, 50 built an even tighter inner circle. Today, his security isn't just street muscle. It's built from former law enforcement, ex-military operatives, and specialists trained in threat detection and risk management. The shift was calculated and necessary. Why such a heavy defense? Because the threats haven't stopped. With Whack 100 allegedly baiting him, Monster hinting at exposing secrets, and past enemies resurfacing with new motives, 50 Cent has to treat every move like it could be his last. His empire spans from music to television to liquor to real estate. That kind of reach brings a new kind of heat, a different kind of jealousy, and a deeper level of betrayal. From the streets to the boardroom, nearly everyone around 50 has either flipped, fallen off, or turned against him at some point, with the possible exception of one man, Gene Deal. The former bodyguard for Diddy has repeatedly stepped up with statements and claims that, according to many fans, have helped paint a fuller picture of what really happened to 50 over the years. Gene doesn't just speculate, He gives timelines, context, and real street logic to what the industry often tries to ignore. Whether it's leaking truths or calling out players in the shadows, Gene has quietly become one of the few voices aligning with 50 in this era. Everyone else, from former allies to street legends, either stayed silent or shifted sides. That's why even now, 50 Cent keeps one eye open. When you've survived 2 attempts, a federal spotlight, and endless industry drama, paranoia doesn't seem irrational. It becomes policy. From the moment the news broke that 50 Cent had been shot all those years ago, Gene Deal was already on the phone, asking questions, pulling strings, and trying to uncover the truth no one else wanted to say out loud. While the streets were buzzing with silence and industry figures were keeping their distance, Gene kept watching and warning. He wasn't just some bystander with a theory. He was a man close enough to know who was moving behind the scenes and why. And now, even decades later, Gene is still stepping forward, still piecing together the timeline, still refusing to let the story go quiet. While others duck interviews or change the narrative, Gene is bringing receipts and challenging powerful names. That's why 50 Cent reposted his claims, not as a publicity stunt, but as a nod of respect. Sometimes you don't realize who really had your back until years later when the dust settles and only the real ones remain. But there's more. With Monster reportedly preparing to go public with damaging details and whispers that Whack 100 and others are circling with their own agendas, it begs a deeper question. Is this just about money? Or are we looking at a much bigger chessboard where the players have been setting up their moves for years? And why, after all this time, does it still feel like 50's enemies aren't finished? Like they're just waiting for the right moment, the right narrative, or the right bag to make a move. So what do you think? Was Gene Deal the only one truly protecting 50 back then? And is this sudden noise from Monster and Whack about betrayal, business, or blackmail? Drop your take in the comments below. We're watching them all. And while you're here, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a drop. Because the next episode might just change everything you thought you knew.